going on, guys? Welcome back to Evil Intoxicated. I'm your host, co-host, Evil Eddie, as always. And above me is the infamous one, Ted Czech. What's going on, Ted?
Am I above you? Because on this thing, I'm below you.
Yeah, you're above me. You're above me here.
Okay. All right. I wasn't aware of that.
And usually only heaven's right above me. But tonight, you are above me.
All right.
I'm a bottom guy, I guess.
What's up, Eddie? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Ted. Thanks for joining us here once again on Evil Intoxicated, our show. So, it's been a while since The Ultimate Fighter has felt so alive. Season 27, here we are, episode 3. What you guys can expect on this episode of Evil Intoxicated is a recap of tonight's episode, and in case you missed it, that's all right. Ultimate Fighter Season 27, episode 3 went down tonight. And, Ted, immediate reaction to tonight's episode.
Oh, I thought it was a great fight. Yeah, tough standards. By tough standards, I mean this was a great fight. Too bad it was only 2 rounds. I would have loved to have seen a third.
I mean, it was 2018 the way that it was scored. I really thought that what was his name? Jose Martinez was going to go down at the end of the first from our boy Pena over on the other end, who reminds me of a Bob. What's his name? Bob
Ross. Did you ever see Bob Ross? Did you ever watch him?
Dude, when I was growing up, I would watch Bob Ross laying in my parents' bed, just like all about that dude. Let's just put a little tree in here real quick. We'll not tell anyone about this little secret.
Yeah. I mean, and he was the most non-violent guy you could ever possibly meet. He wouldn't hurt a fly. But so therefore, Pena is violent Bob Ross.
The violent Bob Ross.
He does bear a resemblance to the guy. He really does. I thought it was a barn burner of a fight, and wish there was a third round. And it's like the last time that you and I did the Ultimate Fighter, because I think we might have skipped a season.
Yeah,
but
we did the redemption.
True to form, I am always watching my watch, thinking, okay, are we going to a third round or are we not? Do we have enough TV time for a third round? And I thought maybe there would be in this case, because I thought, okay, so Pena took the first round. I'm thinking maybe Martinez takes that was his name, Martinez, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes the second round, and then we go for the third. But no, I thought that I thought Martinez did better in the second round than in the first round, but still not enough. For every one of his punches, Pena was throwing 6 or 7 punches and kicks and elbows. Clearly he won that fight. Unanimously he won it. Both rounds.
Of course, I'm always on Twitter looking at what everyone else is saying about these fights from round to round. One thing I realized about this season is that the fighters are really active on social media. But one thing I really want to say really quick, I don't know if you heard it or if you guys heard this, but Stipe Miocic in the corner now. We all make fun of Edmund Taverdian. Head movement. But did anybody hear Stipe tonight going, beat him up? That was his advice. Beat him up.
I heard walk him down. Was that Stipe or was that Cormier?
That was Stipe. Down. That was Stipe. At least Stipe's side.
Well, Martinez, his idea, that was his game plan, was he says, I don't like to back up or anything like that. But that's what he ended up doing. Well, if he didn't back up, he did a lot of this.
He did a lot of covering up, and I thought he was going to drop at the end of the first round. What did you think there?
I'm trying to see that. I don't. I know he fell to his knees at one point, but maybe that was a slip. Maybe that was kind of a slip. I'm not sure. But no, I mean he was definitely in Joe Rogan's terms, he was rocked or nearly rocked or whatever. He was definitely seeing things probably. I mean Pena, maybe Martinez underestimated Pena because somebody was telling him, oh, you know what, he doesn't hit with much power. Well, okay, but what about volume?
Yeah.
And what about accuracy? He had those two things.
You definitely bring up a great point. The way that he was so accurate in there, the ego that he had as well, the way that he was keeping up, just his confidence, the way that he was really picking his shots, kind of finding like angles with his punches. It kind of seemed like he was seeing the fight in slow motion, it almost seemed. And there was a lot of covering up, which allowed him to do that, and a lot of knees, a lot of kicks. But there was a point in the fight where Martinez was finding some success in the second round with some inside low kicks, and he just like abandoned that.
Yeah. It was kind of too little, too late with the low kicks. I mean, you got to start those early and then keep at it.
Yeah.
Because it's got to build up over time. It's one of those things. So yeah, it was a little too late. But what was I going to say? I mean, Pena was the one who was aggressive, as opposed to Martinez, who said he was going to be and then wasn't. But I thought Pena might not have it upstairs, and I'm not talking about just his intelligence. I'm talking about his emotion, because he was getting into it with Cormier, and he's the second guy that's gotten into it with Cormier. Cormier's like, but I guess with Cormier it's a tough love kind of thing. He gets in your face. And he says, basically what he's saying to these guys is, you will. Oh, here's my cat. He says, you will respect me.
Oh, a new cat in the family.
Yeah. He's got to go. He wants to go. But yeah, he's like, he's basically telling them, you're going to respect me. I'm the man. You're going to respect me. I've got something to say to you. I've got things to teach you. You need to listen. Because Pena was like, oh, my hand. I just glad fuck. I'm going to bend my hand and all this stuff. But so I thought maybe he wasn't emotionally ready for the fight, that he was going to fold under the pressure. But he did great.
Yeah, that was a thing that I noticed tonight on the episode, was there was a lot of their fighters on Team DC, and right off the bat, I think DC, at least from what I see on television, from what they show us, seems to be the better coach than Stipe. Are you kind of picking that up? Even though there are a lot of guys that are having issues with DC, like you were saying, he keeps it 100 in there. He's like, I'm just trying to help you. You know what I mean? Stipe, on the other hand, doesn't seem too attached to his team, but once again, only from what I'm seeing on tape, we all know what really goes on.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear really a peep out of Stipe, until the very end, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because when they showed Martinez, was he was with some of the other trainers, wasn't he? Or was it? No, he was with Stipe. He was with Stipe. I don't know. It just seemed like it's like where's Stipe? Where's Waldo? Where's Aldo? Where's Stipe? I don't know. It just seemed that was just the vibe I got, was where is the guy?
Going into pulling yourself out of like emotions and say for instance you're just watching Ultimate Fighter, it's your first time going in. Who are you favoring here from what they were showing us with like the backstories of, you had Martinez playing the father role, you had Pena playing, I'm trying to find myself, who I am, I think I know who I am, this is my passion. Like who are you following emotionally going into this fight?
Geez. I mean, I don't know. Both the stories were compelling. You know, I mean, obviously as a dad, I can relate to Martinez, but Pena's story was interesting too. Kind of a stranger in a strange land kind of thing.
Yeah. Stranger in a strange land.
He wasn't even born in the United States, and then he was adopted, and he's he's Hispanic or Afro-Hispanic, and
he looks Irish, man.
He looks like the dude. You know what I mean? There's nobody that he can relate to there, probably.
Yeah.
Two compelling stories for sure.
He sticks out this season, man, and that's what this show needs, is people that stick out. And we even saw some drama early on in the episode with what was it, Tyler Diamond, I think his name is, causing some beef with Jose Martinez.
The guy's name is Dulani, I think.
Oh, okay. He was like, little broke boy. He's like, I whoop ass and I get cash.
But they when they I think they still do this. At least they used to for the Ultimate Fighter when they do the tryouts. They make you roll. They have you hit pads and they interview you because they want to make sure that you have the personality that they're looking for. They want to make sure you're engaging, that you're interesting. That you're outgoing, or maybe you're not. Maybe that some outgoing guys and then some introverted guys, because you put those two together and it's oil and water kind of thing. I mean, at one point, you had Pena telling somebody, I forget who it was, can you just shut up?
He was saying that to my boy, what's his name? I'm about to have him on my show tomorrow. Sakumoth, right? Sakumoth's little brother. Let me just make 100%. Suman Makatran.
It's like you're in a house, there's 16 guys in there?
Yeah.
How could you possibly expect to have peace and quiet? You want peace and quiet, go out into the courtyard or whatever, go out by the pool if you want quiet.
Yeah, they got no phones, they got no TVs there.
I just chalked it up there to the guy was on edge because of his weight cut.
Yeah, well, that's something we see over the years, me and you know, interviewing guys on Fight Week, how irritable they can be. And, you know, we've had experience there, Ted. We know how they get.
Yeah. So that's what I chalked it up to. But, that Dulani guy, that basically people are like, that dude doesn't care if he wins or loses. He just wants his face time. He just wants to, you know, make sure the camera's on him, and he's gonna yap, and you know.
Is that it, or does he just get that is a necessity to be successful on The Ultimate Fighter? You got 6 weeks there. You gotta stand out somehow. Look at freaking
That might be it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But no, I do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fighters that are just the other people are like, oh, it can't be because he's trying to show his personality. It's got to be because he just wants his face out there, and he's not a true fighter. He cares more about exposure.
I mean, when he came in, immediately he had like the fro pick in his hair, the bandana on. DC was like, "What? You're gonna train with that on? Like, come on, this isn't a style contest, man."
That was
but
the first
gets
guy that
it.
DC had some beef with, right? Wasn't it Dulani?
Yeah. Yep.
Another guy.
No, it was him. It was him. So,
but then they hugged it out, and then they were bros after that.
Yeah, they were like rolling around, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Ted, me and you have interviewed Bryce Logan, who's going to be fighting next, right? Bryce Logan? Is that his last name?
No, it's Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell.
Thug
What
Nasty.
the hell?
Thug Nasty.
Yeah, Thug Nasty, who we had on the show, Ted. So when I found out that he was going to be on the season Ultimate Fighter, I mean, when he was on our show, it kind of seemed like he lived in a very, like a household like my grandmother grew up in, very Catholic. He's not able to swear. Like when he was on our show, I think he even titled it, Bryce Mitchell gets to swear on Evil Intoxicated.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how he's going to do with 16 other guys in a house.
Right. I mean, we haven't seen much of him, his personality or how he interacts with. Yeah, I mean, he seems like it. Yeah, he's not the type of guy that you'd expect to call Thug Nasty. I mean, he's from Arkansas. Last we knew, he was living with his mom and going to college. Yeah, he just the nickname. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the irony of it. You know what I mean? Like he's the last person you'd expect to call that, and then that's what he goes by, or maybe he's a thug in the cage. That kind of a thing. But no, I mean, we had a great time with him. He's a likable guy, and I'm glad to see him on the show. Because it's like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find him? Because you brought him to my attention and had him come on our show. I mean, we knew he was undefeated. Like when you called me that day, like I got this young kid coming on. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's undefeated and causing a little. Like, how did you hear of this kid?
Wow, I can't remember.
It was right around the time we had Brad Kohler on. Remember? Was it through like LinkedIn or something? Like, how did you discover Bryce Mitchell?
Brad was from LinkedIn. Brad was definitely from LinkedIn. But Bryce, I cannot remember for the life of me how I got connected with the guy. I can't. But it'll be good. Next week will be good because we'll finally get to see what the deal is. Is he what his personality's like and how he mixes it up with the other guys in the house. We'll be able to see that, and they'll and then we'll say, whoa, look at that, got some crazy lighting effects going on there.
Yeah, thanks to all the listeners, donating and stuff. I really appreciate that we're able to get some new stuff, new webcam, new microphone, new lighting, everything in here. But Ted, somewhere down the road, it might be next week, we're gonna see Bryce break out of his shell, like you're saying. So I've been waiting for that moment because I really think that he's gonna let loose. You know what I mean? It seems like he's so sheltered. I really feel like you're in a group of guys, of fighters. He's been really shy. He might be the guy that ends up being the craziest of them all. We just don't know it yet.
Right? They haven't broken out the alcohol, at least that we've seen. I mean,
oh God, it's gonna get good when that happens. We all know this.
Right. I mean, you got to have 16 guys in a house with no social media and alcohol. Boom.
And then of course they yell at them for drinking the alcohol, but yeah, you know what I mean? They're like almost forced
but yet
into
they
it.
Stock it every time.
So Ted, moving forward, really quick, let's check in with our audience. It seems like you're typing away. What's going on with our?
Just doing that a little bit. We got Harvey Weinstein, Stipe Miocic, the champ. Boys are back in town. Tell Eddie I said what's up.
Good.
Since Daniel gives off homo vibes the way he tries to connect to his athletes.
Okay, this is something I actually wrote down, Ted. I wrote this down, so I'm really happy that somebody broke the ice. So I was trying to think of like a way to transition into that talk, but yeah, I picked up that same vibe tonight, man. DC, we all know last week, if you were watching last week, he's whipping his dong out.
Well, he did that because Stipe had the posters, you know, where he had the molestache. And
I want one of those, by the way.
You want a molestache?
No, I want that picture right here behind me.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you wanted your own molestache. I mean, I'm like, well, geez, that's easy. Just shave everything else off and let this part go.
Oh God.
But and then that other poster where he had the it was blurred out, you know, in the front there.
Yeah, he's hanging.
Cormier had to one up him. Cormier is a very, very competitive guy, which, I mean, you know, most fighters are. So he you know, ain't nothing like the real thing, as the song goes. Blah, 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 you know, he had to whip it out. Oh my God.
I mean, it's not like a secret. We all knew that DC's got a pretty decent piece. He's always picking on John Bones Jones. At least my dick works. Shit like that. But yeah, like I'm picking up that vibe as well, because tonight at the weigh-ins, he was like, look at that 8-pack on you. It's like, hey.
Oh yeah.
Remember,
See,
you're like,
my gaydar wasn't going off on that. You know,
I'm just waiting for DC to be like, bitch, please. Like, DC, whoa. What's up,
but
bro?
now that you mentioned it,
I mean, if we see DC's dick one more time this season, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, that's right. We need pranks. You know, I would say I mean that was one that was kind of minor. We need more. You know, like with Bisbing. Remember Bisbing and
Mayhem Miller.
Mayhem, you know, the mariachi band and the fire extinguishers and the donkeys. You know, that was probably the pinnacle right there. But yeah, we got grinding in the shadows.
We had
What's that?
Of course.
Stipe is talking about Diesel Midget. Diesel Midget is the short, stocky Irish kid who won last week. Who's that guy? I forget that guy's name.
Last week. I did not write last week's winner down, but it was the Kryptonite kid with the glasses. What the fuck's his name? Logan? The kid with the glasses. He beat the Matrix. The kid was calling himself the Matrix with the mustache that overhung, and Brad Katona, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Or is that the guy who lost?
Well, Stipe's talking about DC and Luke Cuckold.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
What about DC and Luke Cuckold? Let's hear about it.
Well, I mean, I don't, you know, they are, you know, the two of them.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Always picking on Luke. Those guys.
But hey, there's Ann.
Ann checking in, and you missed Ted's cat a second ago.
Yep, a very brief cameo appearance. Harvey Weinstein saying, "Do you like Elias Theodorou's gimmick? He's the
ring boy.
He's the hard boy for Invicta. You know what? I don't have a problem with it at all. I don't know. Like, okay, so MMA Junkie. I got a little, just a small bone to pick here. MMA Junkie went to Brittany,
the ring girl.
Yeah, Brittany Palmer, and was like, "Oh, do you have a problem with him? Like, why are they trying to stir shit up? Like, why would anybody have a problem with that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have women, you know, who hold the ring card girls when dudes fight and when women fight, but then if you have an all female, you know, promotion like Invicta, have a dude. It makes sense to me.
It's something that, like, if I'm at a fight party, the girls are always bringing up, why are there guys walking around? We don't want to fucking see that. But at Invicta, it makes sense because there's a lot of girls watching. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
Makes sense. And so MMA Junkie was like, oh, well, you know, some people are questioning whether in today's society we should have ring girls at all. You know, it's misogynist, blah, 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 blah. Come on, get out of here. You know, ridiculous. You know, if Brittany Palmer didn't want to do it, she wouldn't do it. You know, nobody is forcing these women to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody's coercing them to do that. And they enjoy doing it. They enjoy making the money. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Here's the thing, though, Ted. Elias, I feel like he can go a little further into it. I mean, I don't know if you saw him do like the ring card stuff, but I thought he would have put on a little act, or at least be a little more sexual for the girls. He was out there in like his border short, like something I wear at the beach. I mean, I thought he was gonna go all out. That's the way to do it. But
what, you mean in a banana hammock?
yeah, I mean that's what we want the girls to go out in tight ass clothes. I mean, if you're gonna be a ring boy, be a fucking ring boy. Don't be a beach boy. Don't be the beach boy. Be a ring boy. You know.
He was bare chested though, right?
Yeah, I believe.
I don't know. Maybe for the first one they wanted to be kind of subtle about it.
I believe they wanted sponsors and stuff on the shorts as well, which is understandable. But at least put the guy in like tight shorts, or at least fighting gear shorts, those tight spandex.
Hey, whoa, Eddie, hold on a sec here. Who are you, DC?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, put him in tight shorts. Wow, look at that 8-pack. Whoa.
Here's what I would like. Here's what I would like to see. But no, for real, there was a lot of people that were upset that when he announced it, made it seem like he was going to go out there and be a ring boy, not a fucking beach boy. So all I'm saying, if I told the world I was going to go out there and I was going to be a ring boy, and I showed up in my fucking shorts, it'd be like, come on, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or what are you doing here?
Hey, Stipe brings up this. It's kind of related. It's not MMA though, but the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts are going to change their name because now they're accepting females. They're accepting girls.
I'm down.
I'm down. Doing that. We have Girl Scouts.
No, brownies, right? Is it Girl Scouts? Or yeah, Girl Scouts, brownies, Boy Scouts.
Well, brownies is the for the little ones, and then you graduate to, like, you have Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. You have brownies and Girl Scouts. Like, why would you, if you're Boy Scouts, why would you accept girls when girls can be Girl Scouts?
Yeah, I mean,
the Girl Scouts are getting mad because they're like, oh, you're taking away people that would potentially come to us. You're taking away our potential members.
As long as if I have a son and not a daughter, he can be a Girl Scout so I can get a discount on them cookies. Then, fuck it.
Oh, so now are the Girl Scouts going to accept boys?
What do the boys sell? I mean, they have to, right? They have to.
I'm trying to think. I was
at this day and age, Ted. I mean, you know my stance on this. I've said it a million times on the show. As long as I don't really have a stance against this. I think that girls should be allowed. If there's a girl that wants to be a Boy Scout, nobody should really tell her no. But I understand that over the years, there's been Boy Scouts and there's been Girl Scouts. There's been Cub Scouts and brownies. I understand the divide there, but
if you're a girl and you want to be in scouting, why would you want to force yourself into the Boy Scouts when there's Girl Scouts?
So are they just going to get rid of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and they're just going to call it Scouts now, right?
They should just call it Scouts.
Scouts.
Right. But they're actually two separate entities, apparently. That they don't really, they're kind of in competition with each other. They're not joined, really. I mean,
there's money, when there's money involved, of course, yeah.
Yeah. G-Man Newell is here. Oh, here's another crazy thing. Sandeep the King Singh, says he wants to see Thailand get his ass kicked already. And you know how people okay, so this is kind of getting off a little bit.
What are you switching on to? What do you mean Thailand?
Thailand is a guy on the show. He's a black dude.
Okay. The little rich boy.
Maybe Sandeep thinks he's a bit annoying or whatever.
Little broke boy. I whip ass and I get cash.
Did you hear about the girl? And she's a white girl, but she dressed in a Chinese dress for her prom. And people were like, hey, that's cultural appropriation. You're not Chinese. You can't wear a Chinese dress. Well, how could Thailand be named Thailand? He's not Thai. He's black. See? You see how
Why do people care? Why do people freak out about that? Like, these are...
You see how dumb this is? Anyway, let's get back to mixed martial arts. That's why we're here.
Here's the thing, though. It's getting people irritated and it's getting people talking. And that's something that this season needs if it wants to stay alive more than one more season.
Yeah, let's just close the loop on that. Stipe, the champ, he says it should be separated. They are keeping Girl Scouts' name but changing Boy Scouts to Scouts or some shit. More political bullshit. All right, so there we go. Boom.
I Ted, really quick while we're on the news gimmick, you guys can even check this out on Twitter. But I was watching last week's episode tonight of The Ultimate Fighter, and right before that happened, my entire house shook. Fucking guy down the road, a couple minutes away from my house, barricaded himself inside his house, rigged it with explosives, and it blew up. The house shook. This is literally right down the road. 6 SWAT members are injured on their way to Yale right now. My mom's just went to the hospital down there. This is literally like, it's on my Twitter moments. Because I was like, what the fuck? Why did my house just shake? And oh shit, it just disappeared. North Haven, 4 officers injured after an explosion in Connecticut. I mean, this is literally
those things. So standoffs
right down the road from my house right now. Crazy, man. Connecticut. People like to think, oh, Connecticut casual, rich people. Man, we are in the hood over here in Connecticut, man. I don't know. They're nice towns, but there's also the 3rd most dangerous city in America here where I'm living. So.
Right. When I drive through Connecticut, I drive the length of 95, the whole length of it. And
so you pass me.
City after city after city. It's not like that. It's not casual. I mean, parts of it, I'm sure, but but I've covered a lot of those. As a crime reporter, I've covered a lot of those standoffs. That's terrible. That I hope the officers are all right, because I just covered one the other day, and they fired the tear gas into this guy was in a garage with a woman. They were able to. I believe he was holding her hostage. They were able to get him to release the woman. Okay,
like Mayhem Miller style via Twitter.
Yeah. So he releases the woman. Then he still won't come out, so they fire the tear gas in, and he kills himself before they get in there.
What about his girl? She make it out?
Yeah, he released her. He let her go. He let her walk. So that was good. And then So anyway. Yeah,
wow. On that note, wow.
So all right. So next week is Bryce and oh god, I forget the other guy's name.
Bryce Mitchell and what do we got here?
He's got an Italian last name, but
Jay Cuccinello.
Cuccinello, but he's like Scottish or Irish or English or something.
This entire time, I thought he was one of the assistant coaches. He looks like one of Stipe's assistant coaches.
And he was the peacemaker there between Delani and Martina.
He got him to go in the room and apologize. So Ted, closing thoughts.
He's got the European accent. He's got like a Scottish, English something, but he's got an Italian surname.
Yeah. I mean, next weekend, I really want Bryce to win because I'm a little biased there. But if I'm watching the show, both these guys you haven't seen like anything about. So I don't know what fans are expecting here. Right off the bat, I want Bryce to win, obviously. How do you think he's going to do? He's got some pretty great grappling and submission skills, obviously.
Yeah, what did he have? He had a bunch of submissions.
Yeah,
right?
he had like 9 submissions in a row, 9 wins. Something like that.
Well, he has 9 wins. He's probably got a lot of these guys are just like 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. You know what I mean? I mean, if he's got that, then he's probably got the most wins. Not that means.
Shout out to. Yeah. Some guys even go like 14 amateur fights on the season. But shout out to Jojo Giannotti. Really quick before we move on from Ultimate Fighter, it's been so cool. Like we've been saying, seeing people that we know on a season Ultimate Fighter over the years. You see these young guys coming up. Jojo Giannotti, man, I've been talking to this kid the past 2 years. I knew he was going to go try out for the show, but when they released like who was going to be on the season, I didn't see Joe's name, so I felt bad, and I didn't text him back. Come to find out, kid's on the season. Took people out in 17 seconds to start the season off, so that was a big way to start the season off, Ted. What was your initial reaction to the first episode before we move on from TUF Talk?
My reaction to the first episode. I mean, I was just excited for. Obviously, aside from Bryce, I didn't know any of these fighters. Okay, but I was excited because everybody is undefeated. That to me, that's the appeal to me. Other than it's Stipe and DC, and we're building up to, the two of them fighting. Like we've seen Ultimate Fighters before, where the coaches don't fight immediately or whatever. But we're going to see Stipe and DC fight. That's going to be a huge fight. We've got a guy who's the current light heavyweight champ who used to fight at heavyweight, who mowed through guys at heavyweight, against the current heavyweight champion. and they match up well. I mean, physically they're different, but you're talking wrestling skills, you're talking striking skills, and it's going to be a good one. So yeah, I was totally excited about the whole thing, and that, but I did feel bad for the opponent, for JoJo's opponent.
Oh, yeah, man.
The guy's like, damn, I didn't even get to do anything.
That dude freaks me out, man. Looking at his eyes, he's all like bug-eyed, and what's his name? I love that dude. What the hell is his name? Grinwall or something like that. He's got a pretty crazy name. He looks like the Butcher from Gangs of New York. He's got that crazy butcher.
What was his job?
He's like a llama or a pack of shavers.
Llamas.
Yeah.
Llamas are out.
John Gunther. John Gunther.
Uh-huh.
That's his name, Gunther.
Yeah, that fits. Man.
But closing thoughts here, Ted. It was kind of cool to see Stipe walk to the other side of the octagon in DC. I mean, he walked over like a troll. It was scary as hell. But we got to see him face off, see what it would look like in that first episode. So that got me excited. Here we are going into week 4 already. Compared to the last couple of seasons, I'm enjoying this one. But in the back of my mind, we do know that this is coming to an end. So there's almost like a nostalgic feeling to like say goodbye to Ultimate Fighter, because there's only one more season left on the contract, and the rumors have it, in case nobody knows, they're looking for heavyweights, obviously guy heavyweights, and female 145 pounds.
That's right. Finally, they're going to put together a 145-pound division after having a person holding the belt for some time. Well, I mean, right? I mean, when does that ever happen? I can't even get the words out. You've got a champion and you've got no contenders. You've got no division. How can you have a champion with no division? That makes no sense to me.
It's like Tim Sylvia times.
First, it was Holly versus Jermaine Durandamy, right? That Durandamy won, even though she was hitting after the bell twice. So she won, and then she ran scared from Cyborg.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Then Cyborg won the belt. So then Cyborg's been fighting, but they have no division. So finally they get into the division. But
Ted, by the way, can you hear me well? Because I've had my microphone pretty far away, but it's a new mic. Have you been able to hear me well?
Yeah, just fine. So G-Man Newell wants just a quick recap of tonight's episode.
In a nutshell. All right, so here's the Ultimate Fighter Season 27, Episode 3, recap in a nutshell. I appreciate that. Let's keep it into a minute. Ted, I'll go 30 seconds really quick. Going into this fight, going into tonight, I was really excited to see a little more drama tonight between a couple of the fighters. That's always building up. And really, all in all, it was kind of cool seeing the violent Bob Sapp, or Bob Ross.
Bob Sapp. You can't call Bob Sapp violent anymore. He just takes the L's.
But it was kind of cool. We had the pranks tonight. I mean, all in all, it was a good episode, cliche episode of the Ultimate Fighter. I feel like the favorite got the win, so it's always nice looking forward. Because looking forward at the rest of this bracket, you got JoJo Giannotti moving forward, you got this kid moving forward, and then you got Kryptonite moving forward. So we got 3 fights down, and all 3 fighters are really exciting. But the 2 guys that stuck out was the guy who fought tonight with Pena and JoJo Giannotti. So if I had to rate tonight's episode, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. What's your quick recap on this, Ted?
7 out of 10. So okay, so we got to look at the backgrounds of Pena. He's a guy that he lives in Missouri with his girlfriend. She's a burlesque dancer.
Sexy too.
Tattooed burlesque dancer, and he works on it's like a farm. It's like an animal farm. Like he takes care of animals or whatever. And then you have Martinez, who has a daughter, but she lives 2 hours away from him, and clearly that she's kind of the center of his world, and he misses her very much. I think she's 6. So anyway, yeah. So we got to look at their lives a little bit, their personalities, and the fight was very exciting. Although exciting, but at the same time kind of one-sided for Pena. I mean, he kept up the volume and the accuracy on his punches, kicks, and elbows, and really didn't see much in the way. Did it even go to I don't think it really even went to the ground. there was some takedown attempts, but it kind of really didn't even go to the
Immediately
ground.
right back up.
It was a stand up. Yeah, right. It was a stand up fight, and it was an exciting fight.
I mean,
Probably the
Jose Martinez was saying that he was boxing since he was like 6 years old. I thought his stand-up would be a little better. His distance control and all that would be a little better. Really, all he had was just putting pressure on attempting takedowns. Other than that, he wasn't really doing much. Like you said, it was pretty one-sided, Ted.
Right. I mean, he would he would throw hard stuff. He would throw some heavy hands, but he wouldn't follow up like Stipe was saying. He didn't follow it. He wouldn't do like a right left or whatever. He would just throw one punch at a time, whereas Pena was putting together combos and stuff.
I think Pena has a great shot at winning this.
Martinez would just cover up as opposed to moving or anything like that. He's just like, okay, I'm just going to stand here and take all these punches.
That's why I thought he was going to drop so many times. He took a lot of damage. But like you said, Ted, he had the heavier punches, I thought.
Hey, the mayor of Titty City is speaking to you in Italian. I said he thought you were Jewish. I said he's not Jewish. He's Italian, and so then he's speaking to you in Italian, I guess. Come sta il mio amico, la tua famiglia e italiano. Si.
Word, yo. East Coast. I mean, my grandmother and stuff always talk in Italian. My grandparents, my mom a little bit, but not really fluent in Italian. But anyway, Ted, moving forward, Ultimate Fighter Season 27, Episode 3, great episode. Let's talk about some upcoming MMA fights, some recent MMA news, because I know we got a lot of people that want to hear what we think about some of these matches. Now, Bellator 198, I just want to recap that really quick. Just spend like 2 minutes on Bellator 198 really quick. We had Fedor versus Frank Mir. Going into this fight, I was rooting for Fedor. I thought this fight was going to end probably in the second round. It ended up in the first. But all in all, I was at the edge of my seat the entire time. Dylan Dennis having his amazing debut. Was it amazing? What was your thoughts on that, Ted?
Well, according to Michael Chandler, it was very unamazing because he said that Dylan Dennis is the least athletic fighter in Bellator. The entire roster.
But most paid.
What's that?
But yet the most paid, according to Dylan Dennis.
Yeah, I think he takes exception to that. I think Chandler has a problem with that as well. Mm-hmm. He's trying to borrow a page from his buddy Connor. And try to get the trash talk going, and he got the win, I mean, and everybody in I think it was five fights in the main card, right? All finishes.
Right? All 4 submissions too.
4 submissions and a knockout.
And a Gracie in there. You had a Gracie submission as well, which makes things a little spicier to remember.
Very exciting card. Maybe the numbers weren't quite there. Some people are saying, it did all right, but not great, as far as viewers. But I read one story that somebody wrote where they were saying, hey, this could be kind of a turning point for Bellator. It was a success, like I said, not maybe in terms of viewership, but a success in terms of the card itself, in terms of action, in terms of matchmaking. I mean, what do you think about that?
I agree. It was 100% success. I am really happy that it wasn't a pay-per-view like they charged us last time to watch Fedor fight against Matt Mitrione when that fight was originally supposed to be for free. So, again, I think it was a step in the right direction for Bellator. Dylan Dennis saying this was the second biggest Bellator card in Bellator history, which I was freaking out about. I was like, dude, why are you saying that? Where'd you hear that from? But I also heard that that's true. I don't know if it's the most viewers, but it's ranked second somewhere on some Bellator record. But Dylan Dennis saying that he did all the media for this. I've covered Bellator fights. Ted, I don't know if you've been to Bellator and PA.
I haven't been recently, but I've covered them as well.
But the way that they do it, like for media scrums, when the media guys show up, we'll all be like in a little tight corner, and then they'll bring 2 or 3 fighters out. So you don't see like the entire roster or the entire main card. They just 2, 3 guys. So I understand when Dylan Dennis says, it's just like me and Mir for like 5 minutes. Other than that, I was doing all the media. So, which is understandable. Not many people are going to be tuning in to hear interviews with Lovato or Maybe Gracie, maybe Mir, maybe Dylan Dennis, maybe Fedor, but all the other guys you're not going to really be familiar with. So, of course, Dylan Dennis was doing a lot of the media here. I think that's something that he needs to work on as he's going to be a professional in the sport. But at the same time, I think he needs to come into his own a little more. Like you were saying, he's Conor McGregor's boy. He's trying to please that McGregor card a lot. I'd like to see him come into his own. I'm happy he won, though, Ted, because now that excitement keeps going forward. There's a lot of people that want to see him lose in there, which I feel like a lot of the excitement for Dylan Dennis is rooting against him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it kind of doesn't matter. As long as people are tuning in, it doesn't matter whether they want to see you win or see you lose, right?
100%.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Mayor of Titty City says, I can't wait to see Dennis get absolutely effed up in his next fight.
My point exactly, Ted.
He's got horrible stand-up. Mayor of Titty City, nobody gives a fuck about Dennis, though. He comes off really badly. Ann says, Eddie and Ted back together again, just like peanut butter and jelly.
You know it. All right, so besides Dylan Dennis getting that win, Fedor Emelianenko getting his first win in the States, Ted, was there anything in Fedor's past? Because it really seems like the talk on Reddit right now is, oh, that's the first win inside America. But, man, I don't. Do you think any of Fedor's fights were a fluke?
No. He beat.
Not Maldonado. Maybe early in his career.
For the Strikeforce Grand Prix, he beat Brett Rogers. That was
that's the only other. That's the only other guy is Brett Rogers in America.
So whoever's saying it was his first win is wrong.
All right. Well,
Stipe just said the same thing. Didn't he knock out Brett Rogers? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. So that's the second win inside America. So there's a lot of people out there, even Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, when they're on the Fight Companion saying, his past, could it be a fluke? I don't think so at all. I mean, it's not like Bob Sapp going in there and doing verbal taps. This guy, and in this fight, especially, Ted, we saw him get rocked at the beginning in the opening seconds by Frank Mir, turn around, keep composure, bite down, and get the finish. He did that in the Maldonado fight. There's a lot of people that think he lost the Maldonado fight.
Right.
90%. But in that fight, in that first round, he got rocked, but then he bit down, and he pushed forward. James McSweeney and I were talking about it the other day as well. What are your thoughts here? Do you think any Fedor's past fights are a fluke?
Well, I mean, he had that. He had 3 losses in a row, and people say, "Well, geez, he's getting old. It's that he doesn't like to fight in the cage. He's had difficulty transitioning from the ring to the cage. I don't know what it is. I mean, I actually thought Mir was going to win because I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought Fedor's best days were behind him. And who knows how much longer he can go in this tournament or in his career. Who knows how many more fights he has. The Chael Sonnen fight is intriguing, because Sonnen is a wrestler. Fedor is not. I mean, he's a sambo guy and a striker. I'm sure he works pretty well off his back, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's done well with wrestlers. He submitted Mark Coleman, a great wrestler, and I think he submitted Randleman, didn't he? Yeah. So he's taken on wrestlers before, in the past. So that should be intriguing. The problem I have with that Grand Prix is they're dragging it out. They're just dragging that MFer out. I think, now you tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think that Scott Coker's thinking, hey, because he has big events and then he puts the little events in between, sprinkles the little events in between. The bigger ones he calls tentpole events. Yeah. So every time you have a heavyweight Grand Prix fight, well, that's a big event. So he wants to make it last throughout the year. But I say he should have squashed it together and have it over and done with in like 3 months.
Right now, that's all they have, though. Well, right now, all they have is that Grand Prix tournament. Like you said, they have like Minion says, the wave cards where they'll do the tentpole events in freaking Italy or Jerusalem or all these weird places.
Well, they should have championship fights then if this is all they have.
And not on tape delay. Don't do it on tape delay either. People in the UK can't even watch the fights live It's just bullshit. How do you not fix that at this point, Ted? Me and you were talking about this, and at the beginning of 2017, this is going to be the year for Bellator. Nope, they built their roster, but they're still on the same old issues with Scott Coker in place.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
But like you said, this is a step in the right direction, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but they're a company that they, as far as I understand it, they make their money off of TV viewership. They don't care about the arenas. You know, they don't like the UFC always wants to have a good gate, because they always want to try to sell out. Bellator apparently doesn't care about that. They're a TV based company.
Yeah.
So you know, in terms of that, like I said, it wasn't great, but I think, you know, in terms of action, in terms of you know, finishes and stuff like that, it was great.
All right, so let us know what you guys think about this Bellator Grand Prix tournament. Chael Sonnen, let Ted know on Twitter at TEDCZECH. Let me know on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Let's round up the last couple of headlines here, Ted. Nick Newell, another person we've had on our show. Kid lives about 10 minutes from right here where I'm broadcasting right now. He's getting his shot. Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. How do you think he's going to do on there? I mean, this is a guy who only has one loss to Justin Gaethje. Right. And he uses his little nub as an advantage by choking people out. Right.
No, I think he'll do great. I think he's got a great shot. You know, and he says he's fine with that. You know, okay, you want to make me earn my way in? I don't care. I've been doing this all my life. You know, people have been underestimating me and selling me short all my life, so that's fine. I'll do it. I don't care. I always thought that the way to do it was to have him fight CM Punk. I really thought that would have been the way to introduce him, because he could have got a lot of shine off beating CM Punk. Mike Jackson already lost to Mickey Gall, and so did CM Punk. But who's Mike Jackson? I think if you get Mickey Gall, or if you get Nick Newell in there, and he beats CM Punk, then he's off and running. You know what I mean? Then there you go. That's a great way to start your UFC career. You know, he would have been put on the poster just like Mickey Gall was with CM Punk. I don't know, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I look forward to seeing Nick in that you know, Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, and yeah, I think he's going to do great.
Now remember, even if he does win, it doesn't mean he's getting his contract. Antonina Shevchenko also is going to be on this season of Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. So season 2 is looking pretty stacked here.
Valentina's sister.
Yeah, Valentina's sister, who I was just ringside last weekend to watch her fight. And if she let me say this, if she goes in there the way that she did at Lion Fight, I don't think she's going to get that contract, because it went all 5 rounds. It went to decision. But I think she just wanted to get the win. You know, she didn't need to go in there and put on an exciting fight. She just needed to go in there and get a win, because we're leading up to this Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. That's the gold nugget right there. If she lost in decision, it would have looked ugly moving forward into MMA. Season 2 Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, guys. Looking forward to it. I'll be tuning in every week. Ted, are you interested in this season now?
Oh, Tuesday night thing? I think I might get Fight Pass.
Just for that?
Well, yeah, I think it might be the thing that motivates me to get it. Yeah,
I think you and a lot of others. Yeah,
I think it will. I think from what I've seen, you know, clips, and I think the format looks cool. You know what I mean? They have it in the training center where they hold the Ultimate Fighter, right? But they bring more people in. They make it like a smoker event. They bring more people, because I never like it when they have the Ultimate Fighter and it's just like, yay! You know,
there's like no one there.
You know, there's like 10 dudes in there or whatever. No, bring some people in. You know, like a couple hundred or not, maybe not even, just 100 or whatever. You know, so yeah, I like that. And then they interview the fighters immediately after the fight.
You know, it's pretty cool. You know, it's really funny. Just really quick, I remember in high school when we would watch Ultimate Fighter in the senior lounge, girls would walk by and they'd be like, "Why aren't there any people showing up to these fights?" And be like, they thought they were like actually UFC fights, not just like on the season. So that was another big turnoff for a lot of people years ago when the Ultimate Fighter was pretty big. But yeah, this has a different feeling to it. Not only is it not pre-recorded and live, but it's building stars. So I think that's a big thing for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Snoopcast, though, on the other hand, that's another issue that we'll talk about on another day. But, Ted, moving forward, new matchups that have been made in the UFC before we close today's show out. Of course, we have a lull. There's no UFC events this weekend. I think the next UFC event is UFC 224.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Nunes and Pennington. Yep, and so I saw somebody today, I don't know whether it's on Twitter or somewhere, said, "Oh, that would make a fairly decent Fox card or whatever." So a lot of people are not impressed with 224. I mean, because you got hell, you got a title fight. You got Nunes versus Pennington.
Let's take a look.
You got Vitor and Machida, right?
Yep. I'm just gonna double check the card really quick.
Isn't Kelvin Gastelum on that? Kelvin Gastelum and who's he fighting?
All right, so UFC 224 going down May 12th, guys. So not too far away. We got 9 days left. We got Jacare Souza versus Kelvin Gastelum in the co-main event.
Oh, Jacare, okay.
Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Bobby Cooper. Now, Ted, really quick, this is something that you know a little more than I do about, and something I've been wanting to ask you about Mackenzie Dern and this whole Brazilian talk, American talk. What's the deal with this? I've been having so many people reach out to me because she was on TUF Talk earlier today.
Oh, well, okay. So her father's Brazilian, and although she's an American, but she's visited so many times, and when she does, I was listening to an interview with her today. I mean, she visits for like months on end when she goes to Brazil. Although she does her camps in the United States. She used to be part of the MMA lab. That's Ben Henderson and some other guys.
Lauren Murphy, Sean O'Malley, guy from this season Ultimate Fighter. Yeah.
Basically, the guy who runs it, I think his name's John Crouch. He, in the nicest way possible, said, "I think it's best if you move on for whatever reason." But she's going to have her camp somewhere in California now. His MMA lab is in Arizona, I believe.
Yeah, they just opened up a brand new gym.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't surprise me that she has this accent. She now has people, there's videos where it's like, okay, the evolution of Mackenzie Dern's accent, where, and however many years ago, 5-6 years ago or whatever, she sounded like you or me, an American, and now she totally, I like to fight, jiu-jitsu, and she sounds like she's Brazilian, which she is. She's half Brazilian. But she spends so much time down there. It really
is that to sell to the Brazilian market? Because that's what people are saying.
I think it's actually really her. She just seems like a really genuine person. Like, she doesn't seem like the kind of person that would
come up with some super insane, I'm gonna fake an accent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she doesn't seem like that to try to pull that on somebody. I just think she's so immersed in the culture. It really doesn't take that long to pick up an accent. I'd say this as a joke, but it's true. I spent a weekend in West Virginia. This is when I was living in New England. I spent a weekend in West Virginia, and I picked up the accent.
And your wife gives you her, "Oh, look at you, mister. You spend a weekend down there. You come back here with fucking shaved chest and Brazilian wax and freaking wife beater on."
Really, it doesn't. If you surround yourself with people of a different culture, it doesn't take long to pick up an accent.
Like they say, the more you hang out with dogs, you're bound to catch fleas,
You filthy animal.
Or if you ride with the devil enough, it's only a matter of time before he's driving. So, yeah, all in the same boat. But Mackenzie Dern, the reason I brought up Sammy Eid, your friend Sammy, our friend Sammy, Salem 1976 on Twitter, he was like, "Does Mackenzie Dern accent freaking annoy you?" So it's only right to talk about it because a lot of people are like, what the hell?
I know, but it doesn't annoy me because, knowing what I know, and a lot of other, I'm not saying it's anything great, but I know her dad's Brazilian. I know she spends a lot of time there, and she just seems like she's always bubbly. She's always really happy and everything. So I can't really get, I don't get annoyed by it. I mean, it's just it's like any other Brazilian accent. It's, they're a big part of this sport.
Well,
hey, look at that, Brandon in the shadows with the donation. Thank you, Brandon. Very much appreciated.
So here she is, Ted, 6-0 She got that win over Ashley Yoder, who's pretty well-rounded. Ashley Yoder. I actually picked Ashley Yoder to win that. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Bobby Cooper is a step up in competition from Ashley Yoder. Amanda Bobby Cooper, man, she's got some solid wrestling skills. She is 4-3, so it would suck to lose this and be 4-4. I think Dern's gonna have a hard time here. I think Bobby's gonna be a little more powerful here, but we never know in this sport. So I'll be doing a breakdown, a preview of that fight, because that's an interesting matchup I want to look a little deeper into. Other than that, John Lineker versus Kelleher. John Lineker, number 6 in that division, man, looking for another knockout win would put him in back in the talk. Then, like you said, Vitor Belfort versus Lyoto Machida. Let's talk about that really quick. How do you see that fight going?
Wow, I mean, two Brazilian legends, isn't it the retirement bout for both guys?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
I know,
but
definitely Vitor. This is definitely Vitor's last fight. I don't know about Machida. Maybe not for Machida. I think he's a little bit younger. Geez, I don't know, man. I'd have to. I don't know. I'm kind of going with Machida on this. I mean, you got the Vitor. Of course, we always got to watch out for the Vitor blitz.
Let's not forget, Lyoto is also coming off a win. A little confidence behind him.
Right. You got to watch out for the Vitor blitz. He blitzes on you, somewhere in the first round. He pounces. And then after that, it's like, then it's, he kind of fizzles.
Yeah. Vitor, here's the thing, though, Ted. Everyone says the Vitor blitz, but recently, the last couple of fights for Vitor, he's been really calm in the first round. I think he even won his last fight in decision against Nate.
Okay, yeah. So that kind of is a little different for him. But hey, did you hear about that guy Israel Adesanya?
He's going to be matched up against Brad Tavares.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that really quick before we end anything.
He's really trying to fast track himself. He's already fought twice this year, so this will be his third fight by like mid-year. Really trying to fast track himself through the middleweight division. But it's definitely a step up from Marvin Vettori to a guy like Brad Tavares, who's well-rounded and has fought. How many fights has he had in the UFC? 8, 10 fights in the UFC, something like that. You know what I mean? This is definitely a step up for him. So it'll be a good test, because that. He made his debut and he TKO'd somebody. He gets in with Vettori. He squeaks by with a split decision. So not so impressive with the second win in the UFC. So we'll have to see how he does with Tavares. This is a true test for him.
And if he wins, man, there's going to be a lot of people that believe in the hype, because we don't want to see him fight another Can next. I understand that it does seem like he's fighting a little. It's the third time he's fighting this year, but it's not like he's taken much damage or has really been like taking any hard shots. You know?
Right. So hence that, yeah. So he doesn't take any damage, and then he tells the UFC, "I'll take anything you give me, anytime, anywhere, and so they found a slot for him."
If anything, this is a step back for Brad Tavares, right?
You can maybe argue that, but this guy. But if he beats the guy, Tavares beats a hot prospect,
and he staples himself in the division as I feel that
he beats a hot he derails a hype train. So there's something to be said for that. He'll catch some shine off that,
and he has the tools to do it. And the only way that Israel Adesanya is going to be able to get anywhere in the UFC is if he can pick up on the wrestlers, because the wrestlers are a son of a bitch for these stand-up guys that come over.
Right, he's Adesanya is a kickboxer with takedown defense. How good is his takedown defense? We'll see.
People are comparing him to Anderson Silva. He gets mad about it, but I can see it the way he's not Anderson Silva, John Bones. The way he's long and the way he calculates things and the way he moves his body. You can almost see him calculating in his mind when he's moving and formulating.
Okay. Tall, lanky dude who likes to strike, but he doesn't have the wrestling skills or the submission skills that John Jones has,
or the power. Like you said, he's got the striking.
What's that?
like you said, he doesn't have power. He's just a cumulative striking that's going to beat his
Right.
opponents.
If you look at his record, if you look at Adesanya's record, he only has one KO. He's got a billion not a billion, but he's got a ton of TKOs. He's got a ton of TKOs. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Exciting times, you know. I like all these prospects coming up. You know, we need new blood. Yeah. Oh, Harvey's saying we remember Joe's son. Yeah, he got his balls punched in by Keith Hackney. Back when you could groin strike in the UFC.
Wow. Last thing I want to talk about, Ted, really quick. It was just announced today that Joanna Jędrzejczyk is going to be getting a fight against Tecia Torres. This is a fight that she really needs a win. 3 losses in a row just doesn't seem right. We were saying the same thing after Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey. How is she going to lose 3 in a row?
She has 3 losses? I thought just the 2.
No, Joanna, if she loses this, it will be 3 losses in a row.
Oh, it'll be 3.
It will be 3. And that is just something that we couldn't see last year. Like, Joanna Jędrzejczyk has 3 losses in 2018 all of a sudden. What the hell's going on? I think this is a great fight for her against Tecia Torres, but Tecia, the tiny tornado, man, she's just getting better and better. But is she on the level of Joanna, or has Joanna's crumbled? I mean, have people figured out Joanna? How do you see that fight going down, Ted? And was this the right fight for Joanna?
Well, I mean, you know, she's got to work her way back up, Joanna does. And so, you know, she might as well take on somebody of the stature of, not the stature in terms of height, but, you know, somebody like Tecia, who's a very tough opponent. And it's a true clash of styles, right? Because Ticia's more of a wrestler type fighter. And Joanna is obviously a striker.
Muay Thai,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, geez, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, yeah. I mean, because Tecia, if I remember correctly, she looked pretty good in her last fight, right?
Yeah, she's obviously the girlfriend of Raquel Pennington. Both of them have been looking amazing. And I mean, we picked Raquel Pennington for our 2016 Female Fighter of the Year. I mean, she made our top 10 pound for pound list in 2016 that we did with Minion. So, you know, she's only been getting better. She has a title shot, and now her girlfriend's getting a fight against the former champ. So I bet that household is pretty excited right now. But right off the bat, Joanna Jędrzejczyk all day in that fight. I'd like to see her get a title shot again, but I thought she might have thought about moving down in a weight class. I don't know, but here it is.
Yeah, because there's the 115.
Yeah. And that's what she said she wanted to do before she lost to Rose the first time. She's like, I'm gonna defend my title against Rose and then move down and be double champ. So doesn't seem like she's gonna be doing that.
That seems to be the kiss of death when you talk about being a multi-belt champion, a multi-weight class champion. That seems to be the kiss of death. You know what I mean? Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it before you do it. Just do it. Unless you're Connor. Okay, fine, he did it. But nobody else has been able to do it since. But a lot of people talk about it. I remember years ago, Brandon Vera. Do you remember Brandon Vera?
Yeah, of course.
He came into the UFC, and he wasn't even a champ of any type. And he says, I'm going to be light heavyweight champ and heavyweight champ. He was neither one, and then they gave him the boot finally.
And then he turned into like a sports journalist or something.
No, he's I think he's still the champ over in 1FC.
He's on Twitter a lot, covering like all breaking news and stuff still though, which is I like.
What?
Yeah,
Brandon
go check.
Vera?
Yeah, go check out his Twitter page. He's always tweeting out news.
I think you're talking about a different guy, Brandon.
No, not Brandon the Truth or anyone like that. Brandon Vera,
Brandon
the fighter,
Truth Vera.
the fighter.
Yeah, Brandon the Truth Vera.
Yeah. Go check his Twitter. Unless I'm crazy, unless I'm losing it over here on the East Coast with all these freaking chemtrails I see.
The guy, his name is Brandon, but I think his last name it looks like Knockout, but it's Nocaute.
No, I know who you're talking about too. I know who you're talking. No,
Yeah, like,
not him either.
It's Knockout. It's like N-O-C-A.
It looks like Nocturnal or something. Yeah.
It looks like Knockout. I'm like, dude, your last name is Knockout. What's up with that?
Nakute or something weird. Yeah,
Made it up.
Twitter's a weird place where you see these familiar names, but you don't know what the hell they say. But Ted, closing thoughts here as we end tonight's show. You know what we usually do. Obviously, we'll take a question from the chat room. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Ted, I would love to do this again next week after the Ultimate Fighter. I've been speaking with JoJo Giannotti. I talked with whatchamacallit tonight from this season Ultimate Fighter. I was talking to Pena tonight. He was on all over Twitter retweeting my stuff. So it's let's see, what the fuck was his name?
Okay, Steve Miocic says Brandon gets paid to promote MMA news.
See, I told you. I knew something like that.
Right. I thought you were going a little bit nutty there, but
Suman Makatran. I'll be speaking with him tomorrow here on Pure Evil MMA. If you guys want to subscribe on my channel, follow me on Twitter at Evil_Echo and on Instagram at Pure Evil MMA. Follow Ted at Ted Check. If you guys got any questions, let me know. But yeah, Ted, I told you he covers a journalist or something now.
Huh? Who knew?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to everybody that bought all the recent merch as well. I really appreciate that.
Look at that.
Ted, we need a mug of you. I mean, we got the mug of my character. We need the evil intoxicated mug.
Someday I'll put this on a mug.
I'll put the mug on a mug. A mug on a mug.
Oh, that's right. I don't know if people are going to want to buy it, this ugly mug.
This ugly mug on a mug.
Anyway, Joe's son... Oh, no, we talked about that. And saying Joanna Jędrzejczyk is not a Ronda Rousey. She can take a loss and she will be back. That's a very good point. Ronda doesn't like to lose.
I'll say this: it's going to be a while before anyone touches Joanna's record. I don't know if Rose can. I mean, how many 6 title defenses? 7 title defenses?
5, 6.
I think it's like 6 or 7. But yeah, I think it's going to be a while.
And saying Joanna just has to change up what she does. Needs to be better on the ground.
I mean, if you look at Joanna versus Andrade, look at Andrade. Look what Andrade did to Claudia Gadelha. Look what Andrade has been doing recently, where she's deserved a title shot in a lot of people's opinions against Rose Namajunas. Is that next, Rose versus Jessica Andrade? Either way, Andrade just looks like a powerhouse gorilla.
They asked me about that. I don't know if that fight. I don't think the fight's signed, but I think that's who it should be.
That's the direction. Yeah, I mean, look what she did to Claudia. Look how the struggle that Joanna's had with Claudia, but yet won. I mean, Joanna versus Andrade, she destroyed her every single round. So yeah, I agree with Ann here. It's only a matter of time before she's back in the right place.
All right, so here's the final question. G-Man has it. I want to know what both of you guys who you pick for the Bellator drug-out heavyweight Grand Prix. Who's walking away with the strap in like 10 years from now or something? Yeah. When it's finally over.
Here, I'll take that one first. Here's how I see this going. I see, obviously, here's the situation in case anybody out there doesn't know that's listening or watching. Right now, the first fight that went down was between, Matt Mitrione and Roy Nelson. Was that the first fight?
May have been.
So I was actually ringside for that fight. Either way, Matt Mitrione wanted to kill me backstage. Any of our listeners here know that. But, him versus the winner of Bader and King Mo next. Then on the other side of the bracket, we have Fedor, who just beat Mir, who's going to be fighting Chael Sonnen next. Chael Sonnen recently beat Rampage. And if we're comparing how Chael looks against heavyweights, man, he looked really good against Rampage Jackson. So if we're using that in comparison against Fedor, I think he might do better than I originally thought. But then again, I see Fedor advancing at the end of the day. And the end-all result, I think it might be possible we see a Fedor versus Matt Mitrione rematch. And I've been talking about this nonstop. Is this going to be enough? If that does happen, does Matt Mitrione have enough confidence from their first fight? And I asked Matt Mitrione that in person, backstage, and he said, of course I gained a lot of confidence from that. Am I going to overlook Fedor if we get the rematch? No. But I think Fedor can get it done in the rematch there, I think. But then again, who knows? I mean, Matt Mitrione might have the Fedor butterflies gone, get the confidence. But I think Fedor has what it takes to be the champion of this Grand Prix. That's how I see it. What about you, Ted?
I've got Bader. Ryan Bader winning the whole thing. Because he's got King Mo next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Ryan Bader can take the whole thing. I think he's going to look great. He's what, 6'2", 6'3", and cuts probably from like 240 to get to 205.
And he's looked great. He's coming off an amazing knockout.
Yeah, so he's my horse, man. He's the guy. I think he's going to take the whole thing. So that would make him a dual champ.
Listen, I saw King Mo after the Mohegan Sun event. I mean, he's just such a cool dude. I mean, win or lose, how can you not be a fan of King Mo? Here's the thing, though. He's not the most exciting fighter, right?
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, if anyone wants to advance here, I mean, the fans, I think they would pick Bader as well. But Matt Mitrione, all around on the odds, like Vegas odds, is favored to win this tournament. But
Mitrione is.
Matt
Okay,
Mitrione.
I don't know. I still got to go with Bader.
Who is the middleweight champion right now? Or light heavyweight champion, I'm
Light
sorry.
heavyweight.
Light heavyweight champion over at Bellator. So it's going to be a fun one. Let us know what you guys think. How do you see this tournament going down? Let us know on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. And let Ted know at Ted Check. That's TEDCZECH. Ted, one thing I want to say to you, I've been noticing, my phone's saying time for bed, but you've really picked up on your Twitter account, man. I love it.
Oh, I've tried, man. Just turning over a new tree, not a leaf, an entire tree. And I've tried to. I mean, some days, more than others, but I have a lot of fun with it and everything like that. So, and maybe next is Instagram.
So for anybody that's listening right now that might not be familiar with you, if you're listening on the Pure Evil MMA iTunes page, Ted, what have you released this week on your YouTube channel, guys? Make sure you go follow Ted's YouTube channel on YouTube. But Ted, what did you release this week, really quick?
Let's see. I did. Hold on one second. I'll tell you. Because the days kind of blend together and everything.
Yeah.
I did a live chat on Tuesday night. So we talked about all the latest news.
Yes, I saw you go live like twice yesterday morning, like on break or something.
Oh yeah, that was because the first time was messed up.
Technical issues.
I did a lunchtime chat, and then we did Tuesday night fight talk, and prior to that, Covington versus Crazy Horse at the Cam Soda Legends.
Oh shit, yeah! Shout out to my boy.
You think they'll do a Cam Soda 2?
I mean, it was funny. Kobe, I think they will. I think it was like success. You had Kobe Covington there causing a ruckus with Crazy Horse / Felony. You had my boy Bruce Ruchamato. Can never pronounce the kid's last name. But I talk to this kid like every week, and his brother just passed away. I was nervous going into this fight for him. So happy he got the win though.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hope they do it again, because I missed it live, and if you saw the comments though, people were like, "What am I watching?"
I mean, even Ann was like, "I'm not tuning. Like, isn't that a porn site?"
Yeah. So this is I had to join a porn site to watch mixed martial arts. Yeah.
Ted, really funny thing that happened that night too. They have donations and stuff. Like, they'll tell the fighters after the fight, like, your biggest donation was, and one of the fighters, it was like, your biggest donation was from these big titties. It was like, that's what you can expect on a Cam Soda fight night.
Yeah.
So little stuff like that. I mean, it's fun to tune in. It's like tuning in for a Snoopcast, or you're tuning in for laughs on the side, but some action as well. It's a carnival fight, pretty much. It's what I was expecting. It's exactly what I was expecting.
In a tent,
It was key to have UFC fighters there, and that ruckus that happened after. People were saying it was fake or whatever, but still, it got a lot of people talking. End of the day, Ted, I've been enjoying a lot of your content, so make sure everybody goes and follow Ted's page on YouTube. Ted, besides Cam Soda, where can everybody else find you on Facebook?
Well, they can't find me on Cam Soda. I'm not. No, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I gotta step that back up, and Twitter and YouTube.
And what's your Cam Soda account?
Oh my god.
all the poor guys that had to go delete their browser history after that. I was like, oh, I swear I was watching fights. Oh, you're sleeping on the couch tonight, honey. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I just saw the chat room. We had a bunch of comments in there, guys. If you have any more, let us know on Instagram or Twitter. Ted just gave you his Instagram, which is the same as his name, Ted Check. Guys, have a great night. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. That's Ted Check. Wait, no, this is the end. Leave yourselves.